All right, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This is just a realtor podcast that we're started, but today, sitting beside me is the infamous Michael Alexander Smith, also known as Mass, also known as
Cottage Mike.
Cottage Mike.
Cottage Mike. Thank you.
Thanks, Cottage Mike. Thanks for being here.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
I know you live around the corner, so it is convenient for you to stop by the office here, so thank you. But you also live in Cottage Country. That's why they call you Cottage Mike.
I am a full-time Muskoka resident. Yeah, that's right.
So can you just talk to my audience here a little bit about Cottage Country? And I want to know about the predictions, where you think Cottage Country will be, because right now we both know that Cottage Country is not doing well. It didn't do well in the end of 2023. Numbers were down. Transactions were down, but do you have any predictions for where it will be, whether it be good or bad? I just want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know if I'd say it did bad. I just think it didn't do a lot. Those who had to sell still had to sell, and what the interest rate rises really did was leave a lot of people on the sidelines. So my massive prediction was that we have a huge base of pent-up buyers that are waiting for interest rates to be reduced. And as well, through lack of purchasing, there's been a reduction of purchase prices. So it's what we're discussing right now is what I would call an opportunity market. The interest rates are leveling out, and once they start to reduce, you're going to start to see buyers jump right back in. Right. And that's going to be leading to more and more multiple offer situations and pricing increase. That window's shrinking, and that's what we're looking at right now.
As the rates start coming back down, I think this is when you're going to start to see more people out in the market and buying those secondary or tertiary properties. So what would the benefit of someone that's looking to purchase a property? So I have clients in the city that purchase properties strictly for investment, and they could be, obviously as a rental, or I have clients that purchase them as Airbnbs. Like an Airbnb, I would say would maybe get you like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. What can you do in Cottage Country with that same model?
If you're looking to take your cottage, no matter what size this, if we're talking it's always dependent on cottage cabins, or if we're talking about a 3-bedroom on the water or what have you. But a good rule of thumb is that 1 month in the city is going to be 1 week in Cottage Country for income. The waterfront properties are really at a premium, and you can expect to pay increased pricing to be on the water for the summer. If you have an investment class of clientele, that's really the selling point and the selling feature. The obvious challenge is going to be finding your people to come in and be able to service that property for your cleaning and maintenance. However, that's when your local realtor comes in and will be able to provide you with your list of names.
That could be a difficult piece to the puzzle, especially I would say more of the cleaning. The maintenance on, let's say cutting the lawn or doing things like that. That's, going to be the same week to week or every 2 weeks, whatever it may be. But the cleaning service, that's going to be the tough part, because you don't know how busy you're going to be, right?
It's true. And if you have a short turnaround, you have to make sure that your cleaner is going to show up on time. Yeah. So that's actually a good point. I mean, finding and staffing these people is not easy. Yeah. There's services out there where you can pay a premium, but also it's also a little bit of who you know when you.
So when you say premium, what kind of premium is it? If you have, so I've seen the Airbnb companies, right? And they'll basically just handle the whole thing from soup to nuts, right?
Yeah.
You provide them with the property, and they will, but then there's a premium. Do you have any ideas?
That's more of a hotel pool style of doing business. If you're looking to manage this yourself, then you're certainly going to be saving the general contractor's fee, or the 20 or 30%, I think.
Right.
Because you're not supporting a bigger business. You're just managing the 1 or 2 people that come in to do your maintenance and your cleaning.
Right.
And those people might have 1 or 2 staff only, because they're going to be small. And it's hard to say who you're going to be using depending on which lake you're going to buy on, because these people are very regional, very local. So
in terms of an Airbnb like company, do you know how much they charge? Because I don't. I'm wondering.
No,
because I know a regular management company would probably be anywhere from like 5 to 20%, depending on what they have to do, right?
Oh yeah, fair enough. No, I've never seen percentage. I usually see set fees, or like 120 per person per hour type of thing. It really depends on which company you're using.
Right.
What I'm trying to say really is it just varies.
Yeah.
And your property is going to be in question as far as for the quoting, and so is the size and how many people are going to need to come in and clean.
Right.
For me, on boat access, so they charge you when they arrive at the landing and get onto the boat. So you're paying for the boat cruise across till you get to your property.
Okay.
And then who's looking after the boat cruise? Is it the water taxi? Is the cleaner going to operate their own boat, which some of them do? All I can say is it varies.
Let's talk a little bit about your property and where your property is located. And obviously you're in Cottage Country, but where in Cottage Country, just so people know where they can find Cottage Mike.
Cottage Mike currently resides on Gloucester Pool. It is the first lake in the Trent Severn if you're going off Georgian Bay. And then it ties in the Severn River, and then it comes down the Trent out to Lake Ontario. But it'll pass through Aurelia area, and then it'll also pass through the Kawarthas.
You told me that you service basically all of Cottage Country, which is massive.
It is massive. I spend a lot of time in my truck. I can easily spend several hours driving out to Haliburton and all across the Kawarthas, and then right back again.
Okay.
So anything that's waterfront, that's going to be me.
Yeah. I've helped a few of my clients in Cottage Country because my parents own a cottage, so I am familiar with a little bit of the cottage lifestyle and what to look for as a realtor and helping a buyer. So I know those trips. They're actually not bad. I've helped clients in a small town called Calabogie, which I will segue into.
This is a good segue.
Yeah, we are. So I've helped my clients, and I found out how far this Calabogie is. It's 4 hours away. So that was a long drive, but it was a nice drive. Like it's scenic, it's beautiful. So I didn't mind it, and I basically spent 10 hours in the car. But that was a good day because I helped my clients and I got a deal done. But we have a new development that is just launched in Calabogie. I was wondering if you could talk about it a little bit, but also I want to hear your top 3 reasons why someone should be buying a property in Calabogie.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Just to adjust your point of getting there, and I think this is very important. It's a different drive than in the city. I could drive 1 hour in the city, and I come in so frazzled and white-knuckled from like dealing with traffic and being hyper-vigilant to just cruising on an open highway where there's so little traffic that all you're looking at is the trees.
Yeah.
I arrive everywhere relaxed like you would not believe. I was such a strung-out real estate agent here in the city, just trying to park my vehicle to get into a condo and hopefully be on time.
Yeah, okay.
That's a different animal altogether.
Valid.
So this, and I got to tell you, this build that we have, this new construction piece that's happening, I don't get excited about a lot of things, but that excited me because I saw what they were doing. Those of you who've missed out on Blue Mountain and you have any interest in a ski hill or a ski chalet property, except you don't want to pay Blue Mountain or you don't want to pay Toronto prices, this is your entrance opportunity. That's the number one thing for me.
Yep.
I mean, it was so affordable. Like we were talking like maybe in the 500s per square foot.
Price point, huge.
Yep.
This is an excellent reason why it's a good investment. Tell me 2 more I want to hear.
This is the only place, it's almost like when we spoke with these guys, they're treating it like a gated community. I can get out of my unit in the summertime, get into my golf cart with a bucket of beer, head down the hill, play 9 holes, which they have right in front of the chalet, and then I can take my golf cart over the docks and into the boat, and I'm off on the lake for the rest of the day and going out to dinner. There's a little restaurant right down by your docks. And that pavilion is also great for entertaining and weddings. And everything that you can do is completely accessible, surrounded by thousands of acres of crown land, which you absolutely can never be built on. So everything that you're going to be living in there or dealing with there is going to be just pristine, just the way you see it. I was so impressed that they brought us out there for the day, took us up skiing. We had ownership and ski patrollers coming with us. We also had a bunch of guys that were like first aid and rescue coming with us as well. And they've spent decades on the hill, and they told us everything about the hill and why this path was named this. They showed us the views, they showed us all the development sites, and you could really start to see the bang for the buck. Really what we're talking about here, to give the best example, is ground zero for Blue Mountain, except this peak is taller, and they're adding crazy amount of new runs now.
We actually looked into that, and it was like
We didn't believe
200 feet or something like that taller. And we didn't really know because when we first got there, you could see the crest of the mountain or the knuckle of the mountain, but it went up like back
it just kept
further
going
up. And we were on that chairlift quite a while. And I was like, wow, this is a good elevation. One thing I want to emphasize about Calabogie is that you have, unlike Blue Mountain, Horseshoe Valley, the popular places, you have your skiing, which is great, skiing, snowboarding, golfing, that is right at the base. But then you also have a lake. That trifecta right there, those three things, that's unlike any other resort property.
In Ontario. I mean, we get this out in BC on the mountain ranges, but you don't get that here. If we could be talking about Whistler, sure. Or Grouse Mountain, sure. But this in Ontario?
Making it, an amazing 4-season property, right? And you can also rent these out, and I'm sure that's going to be one of your points.
That's
is that not your third point?
It is, but I was going to even talk about more things that we can do on this hill. Because it's Crown land, you can rip ATVs, dirt bikes. There's only everything you want to do. There's a major racetrack in the area. That's one of the finer racetracks for guys with super high-end cars. Anyone who's into the racing circuits, this is probably where they're going to be staying in the hotel pool as these phases get developed, which brings us to our next point, which is going to be the rentals. Can you short-term rent Calabogie? Absolutely.
Yes.
You can hotel pool it, meaning the hotel or the resort looks after it for you. They take a small cut. We looked at the numbers. You're getting the bare share of everything. I think it was like a 70-30 split or something like that.
70-30, but there was a 16.
There's the initial 16 for all the services.
For the services,
they have to pay whoever that lead or that booking came through.
That's it.
So you can book through like Airbnb, Expedia,
all of those major.
So the visibility of this resort is going far and wide, and there's not enough units. There's not even close to enough units. As we start to build this out, then you're going to start to see this even fill out even more, and it's going to be more and more of a name. But I think we are really talking about opportunity at ground zero to get into phase 1 being released next week.
And I mean, take a look at some of these renderings of the project that we're going to show you right now. I mean, the place is beautiful. It has modern aesthetic. You have your own parking pad. Some of the units have covered parking. They can go anywhere from a 1-bedroom flex all the way up to a 3-story townhouse. I believe there's something like, how many units did they say there was in total? It was... there was hundreds of units I think in the initial phase, right?
Just over 100 units for the initial phase. And that's not even talking about that one special unit they have. It's the architect's choice. They call it the cube, and it is like a glass cube for those who need to see and be into nature, immersed completely.
So we're going to have a link in the description. So if you want to go down there, you can click on that. And if you'd like some more information on Calabogie Peaks and the project that Berkshire Hathaway Home Services is launching, just go down to that description. And we'll have all the info in there.
This one's going to be a no-brainer because they're pumping the resort so much now, and all the resort marketing pieces that are going into this. Calabogie is just going to be exploding, and we're going to see all of these new entries, new events happening there, and as well as the infrastructure that's being built out over the next few years is just going to make this place going to be the next spot to be. How else are you going to go from like ski out of my lodge and then down the hill and you could be lakeside?
This is a great alternative for those people that don't want the busyness, because I've been to Blue Mountain on a weekend, and sometimes you're 30-45 minutes just to wait in line for a chairlift. So this was great for someone like that is looking for, if they're going to go skiing or snowboarding a few times a year. Okay, they have a beautiful place to stay. They can also rent it out. So anyone in the GTA, this would be great for. If you're living in Ottawa and you're looking for, a ski option or a ski snowboard option, then this is a great opportunity. So,
well, that's where you want to bring the family, I think. But honestly, at the end of the day, this is also where you want to just do events. So if it's a bachelor party, a bachelorette party, and they want to do something that's going to be lodge or mountain themed, then that's where you're going to go. The weddings are happening like crazy in the summer on the pavilion, right on the water. It's like a pier on the water, and then they're hosting the events inside the lodge. So that tells you right now that if you're part of the hotel pool and you want to do a rental, I mean, it'd be a no-brainer to buy this, use it one time a year with your family for vacation, and rent it out the rest of the year and let it pay for itself. And that's kind of where my head's at with this space. Like, use it as much as you want, but don't.
Yeah.
And there's no real pressure here.
Yeah. No, I love it.
But I also love that Berkshire Hathaway is the one and only brokerage representing this this build and is allowing us to pump this one out, because this is one near and dear to my heart. I love resort and vacation properties. Being up in Muskoka, this one's very, very close to me.
And our advisor team has been doing a ton of work on this, bringing it to market.
Pumping it out.
This has been, I think, 2 years in the making, but yeah, we're on full board pushing this one out.
Yeah, we just got our decks today.
And there's a lot of, like you said, there's a ton of phases. So you're getting in ground level.
Yeah, if you like being in a phase one and getting the biggest bang for your buck and the cheapest price possible, because you'll never see it again, then you want phase one. If we talk about this phase 2, phase 7, phase 8, what have you, then we're starting to talk about like, oh, did you kind of miss the boat like you did with Blue Mountain? So not to put any undue pressure, but I think this is going to be a short window of opportunity, but it's going to be well worth your while.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Mike, thank you for stopping by. I mean, you stop by all the time, but I appreciate you coming.
I work right there.
Talking on my podcast. Yeah, you're just around the corner, so this is very convenient for you when you're in the city.
When I'm in the city, that's hard to find me here now.
But if not, Mike will be up on Gloucester Pool.
That's right. Yeah.
At his cottage. So if you guys have any questions about Cottage Country, how you can get into the market, or are thinking about getting into the market this summer, I'll leave Mike's contact information in the description below. Thank you, sir, and cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks. Oh, nice.